Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing great. Um, Rich people problems, right? No, no, this can happen to anybody, okay? And also, this is for people that don't know much about CPS. Don't know about. I think sometimes we don't want to see what's in front of us. Um, and unfortunately, we have to look like the bad guys with not trying to debunk anything. That's not what we're trying to do. But there's some things about this whole coming online months later. Um, and I get it, months later, if you're everybody's under investigation. But it seemed like she probably just recently got the case is closed due to whatever. And I feel like this is personally how I feel of how she's coming out is more of a hey, I'm still the victim. With this whole 5-page letter that she wrote today was more of I'm still the victim. It was very little about her children. And it was going back and forth with her in the sky. Now, if somebody allege, come on here and say that the worst is going on, I think I will not say anything. I think I will have more of an attorney that's speaking up on on my behalf, right? Um, a lot of people don't know what I'm about to tell you. There is resources within CPS, DSS, Department of Human Services that will help parents like ISIS. For example, this is a greedy, when she did a fund me, that was a tactic. Greedy tactic. That wasn't a caring mother. That wasn't a mother that needed the money. That was a greed. And that's how I look at it. And that's how I'll probably always look at it. It doesn't matter if she innocent or guilty. That was a greed moment. And the way that she talked about her damsel, he took the family car. Okay. He turned off the internet. That threw me off to a total dementia of like, what? Now you're nitpicking. How can a man that did such a heinous crime towards his own flesh and blood, you worry about it internet, him cutting off the internet, him taking away your family's car. This man don't even care enough about his children as you're trying to put out last Sunday. When I saw your video, was it last Sunday, maybe Monday? But I think I saw it Sunday. And you made him look like the monster. But then you want him to keep on being compassionate towards you. Are you in the same world are we in? Most likely not. And the thing that sickens me is that letter. And then it made me wonder. Well, everybody's like, why he don't have a mugshot? Why he never went to jail? ISIS, just be honest with the people. Did he ever have evidence that he did that? Or was it your word against his? Now, y'all could say, she said the baby said that, but at this point, she's doing a lot of cleaning up house. Her channel got wiped from all her videos. Just that one using her children as the money grab. Okay. I would think you should took that one off, but no. Then she came on here getting huffy and puffy with somebody who she don't even know. But then say, hey, that is his real niece. She's doing things backwards for me as a grieving mother. And I mean in a mommy's mode. I'm a protector. You wouldn't have to worry about me. Give me your address. I'm going to knock you down. And don't you ever speak on my children again. I'm not going to sit here and make a 5-page letter talking about this man and what the state is saying. To me, I feel like you was not complying with any of those agencies. That is your detective, and that is also the CPS workers. That is what I personally feel while that man is walking around smiling, going to work, probably got his head down. I don't know. I'm not in the midst of it, y'all. I'm just saying the reason why that man is probably walking around after 45 days is because CPS closed that case. And she had to hop on here because now it probably made her look like a liar to the people that is working on that case with that child. So what did she have to do? She had to come on here dramatic, just suddenly. And I'm gonna tell you, she is a damsel. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm kind of getting upset because if this is not true, y'all, how many people, men or women, that get caught up in these cases because somebody has a grudge on them? And turns out that CPS actually closed the case because this person did not comply. This is looking like a comply, not complying to the case. So what they have to do is close it. And what I mean compliant is if they ask them to talk to the children and she said, oh no, no, I don't want my children to go through that again. That's a red flag. Okay. And if her story doesn't keep adding up with the CPS, that's how they can close it. She comes on here with a civil suit, a civil case, not a criminal case. And now I'm not trying to say this is what it is, but this is what it looks like. So when after after they come to agreement, right? After they come to agreement, CPS and the police, the investigators with this case, they don't submerge. The only thing they submerge is what information they have. All right. And that can determine if the CPS case can stay open or they close it. And to me, it seems like she wasn't complying with nobody. So that means that she wasn't returning phone calls. She wasn't doing interviews. That's what it looked like to me. I could be so much wrong. But if I'm not, anybody that had a CPS case will understand what I'm talking about. If anybody that worked for social services, they should understand what I'm talking about. So when people ask, why is this man still walking around? Why is this? She's trying to, she's trying to gaslight the situation. I think something is closed. And personally, she's trying to gaslight it to continue to get what she needs. This is more for, I feel like that money was more for a divorce lawyer than for her children. Because what she said in this letter, y'all, and y'all can go and read it. She said, this man is trying to take full custody of my kids. The only reason how he can actually take full custody if one of the CPS case is closed. They don't see any fault in her husband. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, and I can't grasp how many people can overlook this. Because y'all, please understand, there's a CPS case pending. Now we can't see that, right? Because that has something to do with a child. All right. We will never be able to open that personally and see that. We can't see that. We can't see that. No, that is probably closed. We will never see the investigation part of the police officer reports. We can't see that. But she never really can show you all that CPS case. She can't show y'all that. But she can tell y'all that she has a civil case against her husband. That's all she can show y'all. Like I said, something got closed within 45 days. And she didn't like that turnout to me. And now here we are. I'm not saying that he didn't do it. I'm not saying he did do it. But I'm saying right now where I'm standing at and how she's moving, this was a desperate measure move. Coming on YouTube, coming on social media, this was definitely a desperate measure move. This was not a grieving mother move. This was a desperate measure. And I'm going to tell y'all, come on, I'm going to tell y'all how I feel that she's think like this. She don't think like, okay, shit, let me refocus. She don't think like this. So for y'all to, I'm gonna have to use somebody's stuff. So hold on, y'all. Let me go real quick, real quick.
At Ashley, you can find what you love and save up to.
Hey, y'all, hold on just one moment. Okay, I'm back, y'all. So let me share my screen. And like I said, she's a desperate measure type of female. She don't think nothing through. And thanks to Ab and Preach, um, I'm gonna just take a little bit from what I saw from them, and I'm gonna just run it. I'm gonna run my course. So hold on. I just need y'all to hear how she thinks, and this is a desperate measure move that she came on YouTube. This is the same move that she did with her children, her two children, and now she's doing this with this right here. So she's only doing desperate measures. She only lives her life by, okay, how can I get out of this, or how can I get into something? So hold on one moment. Let me share my screen.
Yet they don't know your life yet, and they already want. You don't think that's bizarre?
that was something that stood out about him versus the other men that I had dated was he really embraced the fact that I had children because he wanted children. So, he was talking, my lease was going to be ending very soon, which is why went ahead and moved in with my person that had became my ex. We started living together and
What did she say?
living together and
I don't know if y'all heard that. So before she got with her husband, she was dating her husband. But before she was dating her husband in the same time that she was dating another man. All right. So she basically said, "Hey, my lease was ending when I was dating this guy. So I decided to move in with him." Desperate measures. That was one time. She probably did it multiple times. But while she was going on a date with him, she was dating another guy. So basically, she's breaking it down that this other guy her first guy that she dated before her husband, she, he was paying and making sure that she was financially stable. She was okay. And she said, well, he's doing it right now. So let me just go ahead and continue to date him. But there's another kick. So we're going to go back. Come on. I might have to run it because I don't want to get copywritten.
Giving them tips on how to do this shit. Yeah. Like she said it out loud. No. And didn't hear herself. No.
and he was saying, well, if you're going to live with me, it's going to be as my wife, not as my girlfriend.
Tout de suite? Tout?
He was saying, well, if you're going to live with me, it's going to be as my wife, not as my girlfriend.
Tout de suite?
Why went ahead and moved in with my person that had became my ex. We started living together and
what did she say?
Living together and
Her lease was about to end. So that's why she moved?
All right. So she moved.
Well, no, she's already breaking up with the guy because she didn't want to get, according to her.
I told my husband, and I was like, hey, it was so embarrassing to him. I was like, I need a place to stay because.
Okay! Did you?
All right, y'all. She told her husband that she got today that she's trying to get divorced after she said, well, I need a place to stay. Desperate measures. Y'all don't think not one person that been watching her stuff on YouTube, not one person thought now this is a desperate measure of getting what she wants? And y'all, I'm not even going to the depth of the niece because the niece was more about self than her cousin. If you want to ask me about it, it was more about herself and trying to get some 45-second pain. But do y'all understand what I'm talking about? What mother in her rabbit ass mind says to a stranger, I need a place to stay? Now, do y'all understand why I said she must did not comply with one of these agencies while her husband is still walking around working? He don't have a mud shot. He never been charged for anything. Do y'all see why he's walking around free? Because she only did this for desperate measures. When this was going through, I think she did a video in October. She did a cooking video in October, y'all. If I'm not mistaken, that was like, yeah, she did a cooking video in October. Did she once say, pray for my children? Because this happened in September. No, no, she didn't. Did she say pray for my family going through a hard time? No, she didn't. But the sad reality is that this is a sad reality. People like her that don't comply with CPS is the reason why we're going to always have little girls like Sanaya Davis on the news. Because they won't take their job seriously. And I'm getting very emotional because now if I'm figuring it out that she's not complying with certain agencies to help to get this bad guy off, that tells me a lot. Now that's the reason why Sanaya Davis, if anybody knows that story, is because the CPS didn't feel like that was very important. The urgency of some parents that come on here and say sometime something like this happens to their children or somebody else just for spite, guess what happens? The CPS don't take those cases very seriously. And now she wants to gaslight people like it's the law enforcement, it's everybody else that's like keeping him out. No. And y'all don't care if I lose subscribers because of this at this point. But certain things like this, I have to add up. Something is not right. And like I said before, we will never be able to dig out CPS's cases and all that stuff. We can't see that unless somebody can else do it. But to me, it feels like she did not comply. He's walking free. He probably was telling the truth, or he probably stayed with his lie. However, y'all will want to look at it, right? But she didn't do her part. Now, if we see a different turn, like he gets arrested, maybe somebody else had better evidence. But we can all understand. I don't know if y'all watch Law and Order. No, y'all watch Law and Order. But DNA is a bitch. And there's some DNA that is like imprinted in certain things. They know how to get the DNA. And I don't think she thought that through. Just like she didn't think the other stuff through. I'm seriously thinking she did not comply with CPS. I'm really feeling that way, y'all. And I don't care how anybody else look at it. And that's the one thing about it is if you're any, and a lot of people don't know this, if y'all use CPS, right? And somebody, if you call, and CPS is not just children, I mean, they have another agency for elders, right? And this is more common with elders. So somebody say, hey, I know this elder that's not eating, that's not sleeping, or, anonymous. They don't know, but they can just go and check on them, right? But if a family member says it, like the cousin or the auntie, and they say, hey, this person got my cousin, my grandmother, and she's not taking care of her, she's taking her money, they're going to look in that, right? So that means if you're the eyewitness, you got to comply with this. Uh, if the main one that's making the complaint is not complying, they're going to look at that funny. It's just like any other charges. If you say, hey, this person beat me up and you don't go to court, that looks bad. and that person said, no, I did not, didn't even touch him, they'll believe that person. So I pray that she is not lying on her daughter. And when I mean lying, that's trauma on her father. I I'm praying that I'm praying everything that it don't affect these children. It's not about the adults at this point. Because I'm sorry, a man that is 50 some years old should never jump into a marriage with a woman with two children that's 20 years younger than him. If you're lonely, get a dog. If you're lonely, join a biker club. If you're lonely, do something. Go to the library every Tuesday. Go to a theater. Do something. And these are for anybody that's looking for love. Because personally, and I'm going to say this, just her talking about using two men at the same time and then turning around and calling herself a trophy wife. You're more like a sleazeball. Knowing that this mother is a mother of two children prior to her husband, and her children stayed in a, both two of, you know, within 2 years, her children stayed with two different men that wasn't their dad. She don't care about her children. I said that in my first video, and I'm gonna say it now. Her kids are her least important thing. She worried about more having access to the internet than her children. Listen to what I'm saying. And her thing, she said he turned off the internet. She's more worried and keeping tabs with the social media than with her own children. Mothers like this, I want to hug my kids an extra 30 minutes longer. And y'all, I'm going to tell y'all right here, I'm not the best mom in the world, but this mother make me strive to be the best mom. And y'all come on here and y'all cry and say, you're so insensitive. This is disturbing. You're a mom too. Yes, I'm a mom. I don't do desperate measure shit. It's different. Yes, I'm a mom. I don't have to hurry up and go on a date with a man and then tell him my problems. So I know that I feel like he can calculate my flaws and use them against my children. And that means, and y'all don't know what I mean, is your mom won't believe you. Where you gonna go? I never want that to be something my children could witness. But for her to get on here and say she was assaulted and da da da, it definitely has something to do with the mind game. So she put her sons at risk. So y'all, and before I go, I want to say this. I just want to break this down clear. All right. So she's changing the baby. Grandmama's changing the baby or her changing the baby. I don't know. I don't care. So then she's like, oh my gosh, did somebody touch you, baby? And then she said, yeah. So instead of her going suddenly, she said she had to wait for her husband to pick up her sons. He was picking, it was so casual. Like, just had to go pick up the kids. I don't know if y'all caught how casual she said he was on his way to pick up the kids from school. And then she had to hurry up and get out the house and say that they was Halloween shopping. But they're picking up the kid with a pedestal with a pedophile, knowing, feeling, raging. Why you didn't pick up your own damn kids? Why you didn't call the school and say, hey, do not release my kids to nobody? I'll get them myself. Do not release my children to anybody. I will come and get them. I'll pay the late fee. I'm on my way. Why you never did that? Not because it already happened, because mentally you kind of set your mindset already that he was going to pick up the kids, and suddenly at 4 o'clock, or I'm gonna just say 10 o'clock, that was the only time that child was changed. And so you don't look weird that y'all leaving all out the house. Y'all gotta understand where I'm coming from. So in her mind, she already rehearsed how she's going to plan out within a 20 minute of finding out this. Who plans that shit out that much? For her to say it, she planned this shit out and still allow him to go pick up the kids. I don't understand that. I am a rational mother when it comes down to my kids. So I don't think how I'm going to move when I'm raging and hurt and sad, but then I'm going to trust this man with my children. But when I asked about that, I got chewed up. That already happened. No, 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 no. She said he was on his way to pick up the kids when you found out. You could always call the school and say, hey, do not release my kids to nobody. Do you understand me? Hide my children. I will be there, but do not release them. But she trusted that ride home with a monster with her two children that did not belong to him. Let me understand that, please. Now, y'all see why I said she did not comply with CPS? It's past 45 days. This man is asking for custody of all his kids. And most likely he probably got cleared by the police station. Now, I'm not saying that they close anything out. They still keep stuff in record, and they still have those cases, those allegations still available. So if something else happened, they can pull it right back up and say, Jim, what's going on? This time of this year, you was touching on your daughter. So those allegations never go away. Cases on like certain things like that never really close. But CPS, they can close. And definitely if somebody is not complying. And that can even started at the hospital when they was probably asking for everybody's DNA. And the mother, of course, refused, or the mother probably hit the other kids. It is getting sick now that I'm thinking about it. Cause y'all, she's not showing y'all a lot of stuff that certain things can take place. And I'm not talking about the hospital. I'm not talking about the police reports, but she's not telling y'all a lot. Because now she's on a desperate measure move. She moves in a desperate measure. She's desperate to try to get what she wants. When a woman says she got pregnant intentionally at 17, please believe that character. she most likely did not never loved her husband, because the way that she moved and she got married to him told me that she had sex with him on the first night. And any man that's not getting nothing, you give a hungry ass man a Ritz cracker, that's just gonna be the best cracker of his life. So if he's not getting none, he don't have many options. He thinking that's the best thing he's gonna get. So he's gonna wipe her up. And the sad reality is that, like I said before, CPS's cases like this, if she has not complied with CPS, and that's the reason why his case is closed, it's the reason why we probably will have so many cases of CPS going crazy. Oh, you talking about me sounding crazy? I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, y'all, my heart goes out to those children. And when I say this, is they can never erase the fact that their mother made a desperate measure move and put their affairs on social media. They will never erase it. From the little boy, from the nieces going off and saying what she said, and to what the mother says. No kid deserves to feel that way. And a lot of women really need to stop taking advice from women that will have sex on the first night and give y'all the opposite the opposite advice than what they do. This woman probably never felt love from the opposite sex. Genuinely never felt love. Because what she did to her own kids tells me that she never loves anything, or nobody never loved her, because you will have protected your child from day one. And I'm sorry, she lied on her husband. She never loved. She never was in love. That's the reason why I'm feeling like she did lie on her husband. And I said what I said. Because if you personally care more about you're getting social media due to Wi-Fi, that tells me a lot. That's one thing you wrote in your why you needed money, because my husband turned off my Wi-Fi. I could see that'll be a low down dirty shame. A man turns off the lights or the water. I would think that she'll say the man turned off our lights, our water. I was like, oh yeah, that's a piece of shit right there. But Wi-Fi? Why you gotta go up and get a fund me? Was it the Porsche? Was your family car? Did he leave you a car? Because it sounded like he left you a car, but not the car you wanted. And you make it harder for decent men. This woman right here, she makes it harder for decent women to really truly love men. Because men are chasing facades like that. They're chasing women that looks the part but don't have the heart. Y'all, she don't have no heart. Y'all fool to think this woman got a heart. But y'all, I gotta go. Y'all can check. Y'all can replay this. Stay away from the mean stuff, y'all. Everybody has their own opinion. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm saying I feel like this is going on. All right, that's totally different. I can't pull up nobody's CPS case. I'm not even going to even, if I could, I wouldn't dock it. But I'm being as general as possible, genuine. Something about this stew is not right. Mr. Willie, I'm not for sure if that's really the case. I personally feel like what that niece said in those little shorts can be very believable. When she said that she thought she was had to come up with her uncle. This is definitely giving me. I thought I got it. Now, I personally feel like this man was dining her. He was giving her everything. And then guess what happens? Life. She only had 2 kids when they started. Now they got 5. Life can hit finances really hard. Definitely if you're still trying to put a image that you are a trophy wife. That gotta be hell for this man. And I'm not saying anything about the SA with the children. I'm not saying that. I'm not overlooking it. I'm not going to, we're not fighting over this. If it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. Now is her word against his. There's no evidence. And when I say there's no evidence, there's no charges against him. Alrighty. And this has been 3 months. We're going to count it to 2 months. It's been 2 months now. And there's still no charges against this man. And CPS runs these cases like this. CPS runs about 45 days and it can go up. And I'm not saying that it's actually closed, but it seemed like it's closed for her to come on here and hop on YouTube. I pray for men that get women like her. I pray that they get out of women like that. You don't desire women like her. And you see them a mile. They pretend like they got it together, but they don't got it together. I pray that men, they don't yearn for trophy wives like that. I pray they don't, because there's actually good men that have, they want that beautiful woman. They want that put together woman. But they shouldn't have to be abused in the process. And we're not talking about that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking about the essay towards the children. I'm talking about how she treated him doing these videos. She treated him doing these videos. Because she laughed and she thought it was funny. She thought it was cute. She thought how easy it was to get a man to just to wipe her out because she needed a place to stay. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. Done. I think I think I think this is my last rodeo with this lady. This gotta be my last rodeo. I think we just have to sit back and see if she falls off. We gotta sit back and see if the funny page goes away. We might have to see if she completely. Y'all, before I leave, did she change her name? Did she change her name? Just ask. She didn't change her name, but she cleaned the YouTube channel. But she did not ever change her name. That's amazing. I'll talk to y'all beautiful people later. Bye.